Hello and welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, the podcast that helps you fix your Catholic marriage while also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, where my main mission is to keep you out of divorce courts. And with Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, divorce combat coaching is the flavor of the day, while also helping me understand marriage and courting, not dating in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting is for marriage. In this 224th episode, the 11 scenarios that constitute your marriage is in marriage crisis, plus live phone calls from you answering your marriage and crisis questions. So get in that queue, 313-723-4225, or you can enter it using your browser at callinstudio.com/radical1. Don't wait and get in that queue. Plus, if you're getting some value from this show, please share it on as you're watching. That way you can help others in their marriage. Okay. Also, as we always say, stay aboard for some resolution to your marriage confusion. And as we always do, starting on this lovely Tuesday, is a quote. And so today's quote is directly from the diary of church mystic and Saint Maria Faustina, who was shown four visions by her guardian angel. The four visions are: number one is a vision of before heaven and before hell. Number two, she was shown a vision of hell. Number three, she was shown a vision of purgatory. And number four, she was shown a vision of heaven. And so St. Faustina, her tour of what it is like before the judgment of heaven and before the judgment of hell. So here we go. Quote: "One day I saw two roads. One was broad, covered with sand and flowers, full of joy, music, and all sorts of pleasures. People walked along it, dancing and enjoying themselves. They reached the end of the road without realizing it. At the end of the road, there was a horrible precipice, that is, the abyss of hell. The souls fell blindly into it as they walked, so they fell. And their numbers were so great that it was impossible to count them. And I saw the other road, or rather a path, for it was narrow and strewn with thorns and rocks. And the people who walked along it had tears in their eyes, and all kinds of suffering befell them. Some fell down upon the rocks, but stood up immediately and went on. At the end of the road, there was a magnificent garden filled with all sorts of happiness, and all of these souls entered there. At the very first instant, they forgot all their sufferings." End quote. Diary of Saint Maria Faustina Kowalski, number 153. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me to help you in yours. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for some resolution to your marriage confusion. So here we go. Question of the day, the radical rant. Question of the day: what is marriage crisis? So that is kind of what we're going in today, so that people know the actual situations and the actual, uh, the scenarios which constitute marriage crisis. So marriage crisis is the state that happens in a marriage where all of, or nearly all of, the emotional connection has left a marriage, as well as trust, vulnerability, and a feeling of being loved, resulting in actions taken by one or both spouses to remove themselves from the pain or to encourage one of the spouses to make things better. And so today we will cover 11 scenarios that marriages fall into as marriage crisis advances. Now that's kind of a in-depth, that's kind of my own of my experience of all these years being around this kind of thing. And this is kind of my this is kind of what what my take on it. But basically, marriage crisis happens, it starts to happen, it all stems from the man. And people get mad at me for saying that, but it really does, because that's kind of the way God has done. It's not kind of the way, it is the way Christ, God has set it up. And so when the man falls, the rest of the family falls. It's not necessarily true when it comes to the wife. Things get uncomfortable and things like that. But when the man falls, because the wife looks to the man to be responsible for the things he's supposed to be responsible for, which is everything. And then the wife is responsible for the children, because that's really all she really has time for in this world. But many women continually refuse to accept that. Matter of fact, me and my wife are driving back yesterday, and she, my wife is so crazy. She wanted me to hear it, but she didn't want to say, hey, listen to it. So she's playing this lady about this young girl. She's probably in her 20s, and talking about, she don't want to have any kids. I don't want to have any kids. I don't want to have any kids. The man was like, why don't you want to have any kids? Because I don't want to. She says, but isn't that selfish? Yep, it sure is selfish, but I don't care. See, and it was a short, so it was only a minute long, but it made its point. Women, I feel so sorry for them. I really do. They do, in the society now, they're called to do everything, but they're too blind to see it. And men, we continue with our blame her, blame everybody but ourselves. So we weak, and then you have women who feel, well, he's not going to do it, so I guess I got to do it. And so in a marriage, that does not last. It might last decades, it might last a month, but in the end, the woman will get tired, and she will put in actions to get rid of you. And we call that, on the woman's side and the man's side, the definition doesn't really matter. It's both, marriage crisis. And so today I want to be clear about that, and to kind of teach everybody and everybody what constitutes marriage crisis. The thing about marriage crisis is you can get out of it, but once you enter into it, it takes a lot of hard work. The reason the reason why it takes so long is because one of the spouses, and in my case, it's usually, I work with men, the wife has just completely given up, and she's not trying to deal with a going nowhere marriage anymore. The guy was clueless, and so now he's trying to play catch up. And so she's like, well, I did all that stuff. I don't want to go to marriage counseling. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to let's just divide the assets up. I'm going to separate, and we're going to go our separate ways. The great thing is, no matter what a woman says, you can always get past that with enough time. But during that time, you got to man up, get your head out of the sand, and start to be a better man. Be the man God created you to be, and be the husband that your wife needs. And we will be right back after the break, y'all. Hang out. Bam. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. Is your marriage in marriage crisis? And if it's not, how close to marriage crisis is it? So, as I always do, we talk about, the marriage divorce thing. And right now, marriage divorces, there's like 50% divorce rate, maybe a little less, maybe a lot more, doesn't matter. Basically, to put that into uh some kind of hit to hit home, that means that every two couples, every two couples that gets married, one of them will leave each other over their lifetime. So they basically will be divorced. They will file to the state to sever the marriage. Okay, that's one out of every two couples. And people go, well, then we'll get married for. Well, first of all, you get married because how else you gonna get to heaven? If you're a Christian and you believe in God, then you have no choice. You only got two choices: either be a religious, which is a priest, a nun, etc., or you're gonna get married. Those are two vocations. And you cannot get to heaven by being selfish. And that's selfish. That's why when the lady talking about I don't want to have no kids and stuff, the man, even though he probably wasn't Christian, he was like, what? That's like selfish. You don't want to bring another soul into the world? No, I don't care. But see, that's the way people are. If a woman can kill her baby in abortion, man, she can do anything. Women can do anything, you know. And so that's kind of where we're going today. Marriage crisis is it's a big thing, man. And the other thing I'm talking about is out of 50%, one out of every two get divorced, and out of that one, then 80% up. Well, I say as much as 80% of the divorces that are filed by, guess who, gentlemen? Wives. So what does that tell you? 80%, that's a lot. That's 20% from 100. Like 79% just faded. 80%, boom. Think about that for a second, man. Out of 100% of the divorces filed, 80%, 8 out of 10. That's 8 wives out of 10 go and file for divorce. Why is that? Because they don't have to stay with your dirty butt no more. Women have taken over the country. Well, we see that wasn't a good idea, but don't matter. That's just the way it is. They got all their friends telling them what to do. They got their co-workers, their divorced women, their mamas telling them. That's another thing. When you 25 and your mama's 35, or you 20 and your mama's 30 or 35, I mean, you getting the blind leading the blind, right? So women, today, they don't have to stick around. They know that they can go to court, and no matter how much assets you do have or assets you don't have, they know they're gonna get something. And but man, one thing I must get into everybody's head is there is a trump card. There's a trump card to all this crap. There's a trump card to all of this when it comes to marriage. As a man, all you got to do is keep the emotional connection with your wife. That's all you got to do. She won't call the police on you. She'll have all your babies. She won't divorce you. She won't listen to all the women talking about what of a jerk you are. All that stuff. All that stuff. That's the trump card, man. But see, guys, we don't want to do that. We lazy. We're aloof. We don't want to do stuff. Okay. And so what we have to do, okay, hang with me because my internet, as usual this time of day, goes out for a couple minutes and you're going to hear me, but I'm going to be jerky. So just be patient. But men, we don't want to be blamed for nothing, and we want to have respect, but we don't want to earn the respect. And the way you earn respect is you become a holy man, a man of God, a man of virtue. And that's what you do. You learn how to communicate, you learn how to be a great lover, you learn what your purpose is as a man, and all of a sudden your wife changes and she draws to you. But see, guys, we get lazy because we feel we gotta go to work and we gotta do these kind of things. We'll spend more time with our kids than we will with our wife. Then when it all breaks down, we act like, oh my God, what happened? I can't believe that. And so what I want you men to understand today is all the stuff that you're gonna hear me talk about, it's true. It's 100% true. But there's a trump card. The trump card is get off your lazy butt and keep an emotional connection with your wife, and you won't have these problems. You might have a mediocre marriage, which is bad, but that ain't a bad or terrible marriage, and it ain't marriage crisis, and your wife ain't filed for divorce and stuff. But you have to maintain an emotional connection. You must maintain the trust. You must maintain vulnerability. You must make her feel she's loved. That's the trump card. All of that's in that trump card, emotional connection. If you can maintain that, man, you won't have all these problems, and you get time to fix the stuff that ain't right. But what do? You know how many times guys probably see my men that first get interested in me, they probably see me all over the internet 15, 20 times. They get emails and everything. They don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. Every time you see me on the internet, that means your marriage is crap. And what do men do? They just ignore, ignore, ignore. Oh, what does he know? He don't know nothing. You're right. I don't, but I know more than you. Boom. 12 times, 1 time, 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. And all the time, that marriage is getting worse and worse and worse. The kids' respect for him is going down further, down further, down further. All of a sudden, we get divorce papers. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Lord, save me, Lord. Then we call on Jesus, right? Superman Jesus, come down from heaven and save me. Save me. Oh, I gotta research for 365 days to figure out what to do because somebody on the internet has the solution to this. I just gotta find that one trick where she's not gonna leave and stop asking for space and telling me she hates me and she wants to divorce me. And no, I'm not dropping the divorce. I'm not. The thing about it is, man, is you've got to fix things and get things in order before it gets to that point. Okay? Because the longer you wait, the worse it gets. And when I say bad, it's real bad. It's real bad. Your kids are crying, your wife's crying, hell, you crying. You don't eat, you don't sleep, your job suffers, your money suffers. All you got to do, man, is maintain the emotional connection. Keep the marriage priority number 2. God first, your wife and marriage. If you keep it like that, man, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And then you start to grow. If you keep your marriage in that box right there, then you only have one way up, only have one way, and that's up. You never go down. You always go up, journey towards God. But man, we too much into the baseball and the golfing and the fishing. We're too much into trying to forget all our problems and stuff. And that is not what God made us for. So, with that being said, we will discuss 11 hardcore situations that concretely place a marriage in marriage crisis. To be clear, these situations are the end all be all of a terrible marriage. These are the last straws that a marriage is almost over and requires much help and hard work to get out of. In short, gentlemen, you have no more time for procrastination and aloofness or research. Like I said earlier, action is now needed. Okay? The longer a man waits, the worse the situation will get forever, affecting his family tree. Look at this, your family tree, dog. Your family tree. Your kids ain't gonna be fine. Matter of fact, when they get married, they're gonna divorce too. So that more your family tree degrades, then those kids are gonna get married and they're gonna get divorced too, or not even get married. Now, heck, what's that man thing? That man going their own way crap? Yeah, guys are doing it because they sick of it. But what they don't realize is they have the problem. That's the thing about the devil. The devil makes you feel like you this great person that you ain't did nothing wrong, and it's just the women that's all the problem. It ain't all the women, it's the men. You know why it's the men's problem? Because that's the way God set it up, man. You the leader. You're the one. Women are just doing whatever you ain't doing. That's what happens in marriage too. If you think about it, when you don't man up, what does your wife do? She just starts doing everything. She starts taking control. Because why shouldn't she? You ain't. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's clockwork, man. It happens all the time. These men going their own way, it's their own fault. It's their own fault. You're mad. See, this is what guys, we get like, we let our emotions get in the way. Oh, she ain't gonna give me sex so I ain't gonna mess with her. Or she's married, she ain't giving me sex, so I'm gonna be mad at her. But we don't look at what ourselves like. Why guys don't want to get married? But what's the other part of that? Women don't want to get married either. Man, they don't even want to have your baby. For a woman not want to have your baby, you know how bad you must be. Think about it. A woman has hormones. She is ordered. God said that you will be ordered towards marriage. You are ordered towards marriage. Women are ordered towards marriage, so are men, but women even more. So, and they want to have with their hormones, they want to have babies. That's why women want to have sex. Women want to have sex because it makes their body is about the baby thing. Now, don't get me wrong, most women today, they ignore that, but don't matter. God put it in them. That's part of the natural law. You having a baby. That's what you get. That's what you want to have sex for, ladies. Because guess what? When your butt gets 45, 50, 60, 70, 80, you ain't going to want to have them hormones no more, and you ain't going to want to have sex. Then you're going to know what real pain is. So listen, guys, you got to understand what this is. So think about what I just said. If a woman is with you, and even if y'all boyfriend and girlfriend, if you married and she don't want to have your baby, look at yourself and ask, why don't my wife or my girlfriend want to have my baby? Because you know why? She instinctively knows you ain't the one. Or if she married you, she goes, I made a mistake. Look, man, I tell you guys the truth. And this is the truth. That's the truth. But the thing about it is there's always that trump card, man. It's all that trump card is forever there. All you got to do is cultivate it and make it better and better and better. And that girl will be asking you, hey, let's get married because I want to have kids. I want to build a life with you and I want to make you happy. See, if you got a woman and she's talking about, I don't want to have no babies. I don't want to have no babies. I don't want to have no babies. Or, I think you could say it's worse, but it's about the same. Or I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. You better get away from her. She's crazy. That means she's going against every instinct that she has been given since being born. That's the kind of woman you want. The guy that says yes to that, he's selfish. I don't understand nothing. The guy that goes, dang, man, maybe I need to find me somebody else. That's the smart man right there. Because you know why? Because a woman like that will put your butt through hell. I ain't lying. Because if she don't want to have no babies, that means she's selfish. That means she ain't going to serve you, or she'll serve you or be nice to you as long as you're doing something for her. Do you really want that kind of woman? Did you marry that kind of woman and now regret it? I don't know, dog. I ain't never been in that kind of situation. The women I've been with, they always want to have babies. I don't know why, but they do, So that makes you think, does she really, if she loves me, she wants to give me the gift of babies, of children, so that we can grow and love each other. Okay. So with that being said, let's start with number one. So the number one, and these are not in really any order, y'all, because marriage crisis is not an order kind of thing. It just is what it is. If you have one of these 11 scenarios, you are in marriage crisis, and there's at least a 50% chance, or at least that you're going to get divorced. Well, if you're in marriage crisis, this is higher than that. But there's an 80% chance that your wife's going to file for divorce. 80%. Okay. When she does, it's going to be real hard to get out of that one. But you can. Okay. It's going to take some hard work and help, but you can. So number one is your wife has left with or without the children. Your wife has left with or without the children. So this is usually a pleading and major first attempt by a wife to get her husband to man up and again show her she is loved and important to him. Because right now, she doesn't feel this is in her marriage. She will move in temporarily with her mom, her friends, or siblings. He may or may not be able to talk her back into coming home, but it doesn't matter in the end, as she will leave again, because even though she comes home, nothing has changed. This is another mistake that men make. Their wife leaves, moves out, goes stay with their mother or their father or their siblings or their friend or their coworker, whatever, and they take the kids with them. And, he's all distraught and getting mad. Like, what did you leave for? And she's like, you did this and you did this and I hate you and you don't love me. And then he's going, oh, would you just please shut up and come home? blah, blah. Okay, so then after a month or two, or a week or two, or a day or two, the girl comes home with the kids, and everything's okay for about zero point 0.2 seconds. And then all stuff starts out again because nothing changed. So eventually, after the year or so, or 6 months, or whatever, or 5 years, the girl leaves again because she's realizing he ain't trying to do nothing. And the men do not understand that it all stems from us. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It just is what it is. And the quicker as a man that you realize that you're the one in control and you're the one that causes all this stuff to happen, and you can cause good or you can cause bad. It don't matter. Just take responsibility for whatever happens. That's a long way your wife will start thinking you got some sense. Okay? So that's the thing. Eventually you can talk her back, but eventually she will leave. She will leave again anyway. Because when she comes back, has anything really changed? Has anything changed? Your wife left to go move with her parents for a couple of weeks because she's crying and stuff every day and she can't stand no more. And then you talk her back, and then she comes back, and then what has changed? Nothing has changed. Okay. Number two, your wife is cheating. This is a tough one. This is a tough one on your soul, on your heart, on your pride, your ego, all of it. This is another plea, believe it or not, even though this is tough on you, if you understand it, you can fix it. See, here's the thing. This is another plea for the wife begging her husband to get it together. She has allowed herself to be put back on the market, and another homewrecker has taken her up on her offer. The problem is these relationships rarely last and usually fall apart because the wife still loves and is bonded to her husband and is trying to get him to show her again that she is number one in his life. Until he does and changes, she most likely will not return to her marriage. Okay, boom. So, look, dude, understand that. Understand that. I had a guy one time, man. I talked to that boy for an hour. He just couldn't get over it. He's young, 20 something, whatever. He couldn't tell. He said he all mad because his girlfriend or his wife, his wife, I'm sorry. His wife then went and started having sex with another man and stuff. And I try to tell him, I say, look, man, all you got to do is this, and this, man. You can work this out, man. You can work it out, man. No, he want to go confront the guy, want to go fight the guy. He want to go chase her down. He want to be doing all this crazy stuff, showing how crazy he is. And guess you know what? You know what confronting the man does? All it does is, man, is it shows your wife that, yep, I knew it. That's why I left you in the first place. She's gonna side with him. Women always side with the man they sleeping with. So if she's sleeping with him, she's gonna side with him. Okay. So what you gotta do is be smart. What you gotta do is let her go on do her thing because it's gonna eventually fall apart. While she's gone, what you do is you can prove yourself, look in the mirror, get yourself together, get your butt back to mass and church, start understanding what it's to be a real man, and get your butt some help. That's what you do. And then when that falls apart, then your wife come back, then she sees you again. Oh, you're not the same guy you were. Then you guys can be friends and start talking. But losing your cool and losing control, that ain't like Christ for one thing. That ain't like Christ, man. Don't be losing control and stuff. You can't control a grown woman anyway. Where you control her is the trump card. And what's the trump card again, fellas? Everybody say it. Emotional connection. Emotional connection. That's the trump card, man. When you're allowed to leave, you playing crap with your marriage. You're playing roulette with your marriage and stuff. Okay? That's how you handle when your wife is cheating, man. You don't really react at all. You just say, listen, you're going out there. I'll be here when you get back. Why would God say for better, for worse, for sickness and health? That's what it means. That's what it means. But see, man, you don't have to let it get like that. You don't have to let it be for better, for worse, or for the worst part. You can always keep it in the for better part. All you got to do is stop taking your marriage for granted. Stop taking your wife for granted, man. Get back on track. Learn what that means, and start being a man that takes responsibility for his relationship with God and his relationship with his wife. And forget about your darn kids, man. Forget about your darn kids, man. They gonna be all right if they mom and daddy and God's in the house. That's nothing. Men skip from God, they don't worry about God. They leave their wife alone and they keep focusing on the kids. The kids, man, are gonna be miserable if you and your wife and God are in the picture. They are. But everybody tries to be like, well, the kids gonna be okay. I'm just gonna focus on the kids and make that. No, that is not what's happening. Okay. All right. So number three, gentlemen, number three situation scenario in marriage crisis. You're in marriage crisis if your wife has asked for a divorce. Okay. If your wife has asked for a divorce, this means she is at her wit's end and knows of nothing else to do. See, she's confused just like you confused. Okay. Her husband is clueless to her pain, which upsets her even more that he has no idea of the pain he is causing her. This sometimes is just a plea for help to get him to man up and get on his job of loving, serving, and protecting her, proving his undying love for her. But most men, again, are clueless and have much pride and are unwilling to look at themselves because it is much easier to blame her than to blame me. Okay? So look, man, it all boils down to basically now sometimes a woman will bring up divorce because it's a bluff. Uh it's a bluff, not in her conscious mind, but it's a bluff of let me see what he gonna say, like kind of thing. And then I've had guys say, well, look, God filed for divorce then. Okay, so all you when you talk crazy like that, all you doing is just pushing her to do her pride to do what she says she's gonna do. This is why a lot of times women that are very prideful, when they file for divorce, they're not dropping that divorce no matter what happens. Y'all could be having sex every day, 5 days a week, 3 times a day, and she still ain't gonna drop the divorce. You know why? Because she didn't told everybody that she's gonna divorce you. And so in order to save face, I got to divorce you. And then after we get divorced, then, we'll go ahead and we'll try to make things work and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy, but it's a pride thing. Okay. But most of the time, 99.9% of the time, if your wife asks for a divorce, it just means that she's trying to get you to man up, show her you love her, start making her priority number one again, but you got to understand how to do that too, right? And so that's kind of what's going on. And if she files, if she asks for a divorce, it really means I think I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna see what you're gonna do. And I'm telling you, the guys that do this thing of, well, okay, if you want a divorce, that's fine. Okay, well, she goes file for divorce. Well, if you want a divorce and go to court, well, it's the man talking. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go to court. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, you want the kids? You want the kids all the time? Yeah, well, just go ahead and take the kids. Yeah, well, you want the house? Okay, you can have the house. You want the cars? Okay, you can have the cars. You don't want us to get no lawyers. No, well, we ain't gonna get no lawyers. If you want all the money in the account, just take all the money. I don't care. That's just some weak stuff. That's just some weak stuff. That is not being of Christ. That's not being of Christ. Just allow your wife, just keep giving her what she wants. There are guys like that. Give her whatever she wants. Whatever she wants. Whatever she wants. I don't know. I guess they think that's honorable. No, that's stupid. You give your wife what you know will make her happy in the end. You don't give her what she wants. And when a woman is talking like that, she wants you to stop her, but you just keep being weak, and the man just keeps being weak. He's just gonna keep going, okay, okay, okay. And then you look up, it's 2 years later, and you live in an apartment that's 500 square feet with no bedroom and one toilet, paying $8,000 a month for it in San Francisco or something. Okay. So number 4, you are separated or have a legal separation, but you didn't want it. So the key to this is you, as the husband, didn't want the legal separation or separated. So what I mean by separated is basically not like the temporary thing, like your wife just left, right? She would go stay with her parents for a while and come back or whatever. What you're talking about, this is like your wife just moved out and has her own apartment or buys her own house, or like that. Okay, you're like really separated, like she just can't come back, or she's got to pay. There's some barrier to her coming back, like she has to pay all this extra rent and stuff like that. Legal separation, basically, that means you just file with the state that there's a legal separation, that we've agreed legally to separate. In some states, you got to have that, but some states you got to be separated for a year. And I really commend those states. Although it ain't much better than no fault. It ain't much better than no fault divorce, but it's still better than like you just go down to the courthouse and say, "Hey, I want divorce," and in 30 days your marriage is over. The thing I say about marriage is you can end it quickly, but you can also get married again quickly. Your job as a man is to make everything work out, is get that back together, get your family back together. Okay. So you're separated or legally separated, but you didn't want it. So basically, when I say you didn't want it, I mean like your wife filed for legal separation, or she moves out and gets an apartment, but you didn't want it. Okay. This is a precursor to divorce. All right. I'm just letting you know straight up, straight out. If you don't intervene and get this taken care of, it's only a precursor to divorce. Okay. Don't fall for the I just need space, gentlemen. Don't fall for the I just need space. Yeah, you give her space for a little while, but you don't go months and months and years of giving your wife space. I know a guy gave his wife space for 3 years. she's still it, and she's still, she's still moving everybody in the house. I mean, that makes sense. That's another clue. You move out, and then your wife starts moving people in. I don't mean another man or nothing. It could be another man, but most of the time, another time they moving their mamas, their parents in there, their brothers, their sisters, their friends, everybody moving the house. You paying the mortgage still. You just keep going, okay, I'll just keep doing that. Forget that, man. Don't fall for that stuff, man. Don't let somebody take you for a fool, man. All right. So this is your wife deciding that there is no hope for your marriage and that she is wasting her time because her husband will never change or understand her. If he doesn't get back in the game, he will lose his wife and children forever. Okay. So separation, man, is basically it's a step moving toward the divorce toward annulment if you're Catholic. Don't fall for this stuff, man. Don't keep, a lot of guys, their wife will leave and they just kind of go like, oh, yes, it's Christmas. It's Easter. It's July 4th. It's my birthday. I get to go do whatever I want and go do all this stuff. And nobody's nagging me and telling me what to do. I ain't got to watch no kids, blah, 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 blah. And you just don't do nothing for months and years. Oh my God. What in the heck are you doing? Please, gentlemen, this is the thing about our world when we go to these stupid schools that don't teach critical thinking. We go to these stupid universities and these stupid high schools, these stupid public schools and stuff that don't teach us critical thinking. Just teach you how to follow rules and do this and do that and think the way I want you to think. Man, that is crazy. And then when the real world happens, you can't think for yourself. You're all confused because you can't critically think. You can't figure a problem out or figure common sense is gone. Okay? Please, man. Please. Please, please, please. Think about things through. Think them through. Get a plan. Okay? Don't lose your family. This is the fight of your life. You're going to lose. I can't tell you how many guys I've talked to and they still think it's okay. Hey, man. I say, hey, man, you need to get any more questions? Nope. I ain't got no more questions. And I'm sitting there thinking, you ain't got no more questions. Man, your wife, she done moved out the house, man. Your wife's filed for divorce, man. Your wife told she hates you, man. Your wife asked for a divorce, man. Your wife is at the house, man. Well, I'll just guess I'll go be all right. I'll just go and start trying to be better. Just don't have no common sense. No common sense. Get your nose out of the TV, out of these football games and basketball games and March Madness and stuff, man. Start fixing your darn life. This is the fight of our life. This is the fight of a man's life, and we sitting there watching March Madness. Anyway, number 5, you sleep in separate bedrooms. This is also a precursor to like your marriage is basically pretty much dead. Okay. usually means the emotional connection is just about gone, and the wife is making a statement that no longer will we engage in love making. So, guys, we're gonna go over here in a little bit, you know, the sex thing. But to get you warmed up, your wife moves to a separate bedroom or you move to a separate bedroom. All right, you're supposed to be married. You're supposed to be living in the same room in the same bed. Why? Because you're supposed to be hugging each other and kissing each other and holding hands and loving each other. No, you're in separate bedrooms. You're just roommates. So your emotional your marriage is basically over. You just separated inside the house. It makes no sense. And guys just go, "Yep, that's right, Jerry. We in separate bedrooms. She this, she that, she this, she that." I'm like, man, what is wrong with you? It's like we don't the critical thinking again. We can't think in the future to what this means. We can't think into the future of what this means. If my wife puts me out of the bedroom, then what's she gonna do next? If things don't get better, I mean, even the anybody can think through this scenario. If my wife puts me out of the bedroom, what's next? She gonna put me out of the house. I mean, I gotta start fixing this. I gotta start making this a priority. We got our priorities straight. Listen, I know we gotta eat. I know we gotta have a car. I know we gotta have a roof on our heads. That's it. I have guys tell me all the time, well, man, I got these bills to pay, man, and I can't fix my marriage with you right now. But I tell you what, I get paid on Friday and I call you back. That's how crazy people are. That's how crazy people are. Dude, you're gonna lose your family. You are a failure. You're in the process of becoming a failure in life. I don't care if you have $1 billion or $5 billion. It don't matter if you don't have God, your wife, and your children. It doesn't matter. Who you gonna share it with? A stripper, a hooker? Is that what you're gonna do? The pornography lady on the TV, you gonna share it with her? That's what I'm saying. Critical thinking, man. We got to start using our common sense as men again and start thinking through the scenarios of what each step means that our wife takes. Really? Come on, man. If you sleep in the bedroom, the separate bedrooms, that means she's gonna eventually ask you to leave the house. Then when she asks you to leave the house, then she gonna ask for divorce, and then she gonna what? She gonna get divorced. Then she gonna ask for an annulment. Then she gonna get an annulment. I mean, that's just the way it works, man. It ain't gonna stop. The process does not stop just because you ignore it. Okay? Listen, the way it works, gentlemen, is this. When your relationship with God is screwed up, you do whatever you can to get that back on track. That's why we have confession. Okay, everybody pretty much knows that one, unless you're a Protestant. But even a Protestant knows I get on my knees and ask God for forgiveness. Okay, boom. Then we get our butt to mass. We get our butts praying. We get some spiritual warfare on. Bam. Okay. Then the second priority, not your job, is your wife and marriage. So here's the way it works. Once you have your hierarchy of needs met, all those other bills and loans and credit cards and all that stuff, all those 4 and 5 cars, car payments, that stuff don't matter. That stuff don't matter. As long as you got one car, you got a roof over your head, and you can eat, and you pay your electricity and your gas bill, and you put some gas in your car, that's your hierarchy needs, man. All the rest of that stuff, because, all the rest of that stuff, man, don't mean nothing. Your credit cards, your loans, who you owe, all that stuff. That don't mean nothing, man. Your relationship with God and your wife are screwed up, dude. You think it's bad now. Wait till she start taking half of it in the court. You start paying lawyers and stuff, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000, $20,000 stuff. I know a guy kidding me not too long ago, paid $50,000 to lawyers. 50. Yeah, you cry about what I'm asking? To have a chance to be a better man, get your wife together, have a chance to get your life together and your wife and marriage together. Guys kill me. So you say, hey man, you got food, right? Yep, Jerry, I can pay for my food. You got to pay for your electric bill, right? Yep, Jerry, pay your rent, right? Yep, Jerry, you can pay your car payment, right? Yep. All right, man, you need to focus on, you need to pay whatever it takes to get some help. If it ain't with me, find somebody that can help you fix your marriage to get out of this crap right here. You sleeping in separate bedrooms. Doesn't that like make a clue? Well, no, I just get up and go to work. What are you going to work for if you're not going to work for God and your wife and kids? If your wife is gone, your kids are gone, what are you going? What do you got to go? What's the use of getting up and going to work for? You could become a homeless person and get some food and get shelter. See, man, that's what people don't, they don't, men, and then women on the other side, they so emotionally challenged, confused. The man is trying his best to work it out with her, and he really is. He puts things into place to like, okay, I'm sorry. I did this wrong. I admit it. I'm trying to figure this out. Be patient with me. No, no, no. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. I'm going to still be mean to you. I'm still not going to have sex with you. I'm still not going to live with you. I'm going to come back home. I'm not going to do none of this stuff. So we got two people, man, that just don't understand anything because they're going to these crapped out schools and high schools and universities, man. They don't know nothing. They teach you, only reason you to go to college is you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or engineer or something. Other than that, man, go out and get a job to be a vocation. I mean, what is it? A vocation? I'm not a trade school or something. Everybody's not meant to go to college, man. And you go to these crapped out schools, man, they're teaching you all this stuff you can't survive in the real world. I know people that went to school to become a professional, like an accountant or something like that, a lawyer or whatever. They get out and can't find a job, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I know I got off a little bit. I really didn't, but another thing too, man, all this stuff works together, gentlemen. It all works together. Nothing is separated. And it all stems from God and your wife. God gave you that beautiful woman, and we screw it up, and then we start blaming everybody but ourselves. We got to get out of that mode, man. We are not selfish people. We are not. Tell yourself that from now on, you are never going to be a selfish man. You never go think about yourself first before you think about God, your wife, and kids. What is best for my relationship with God, what is best for my marriage, what is best for my children. That's what you think. You're not trying to pay for all this other stuff that is not going to help you in the long run. Is having 25 credit cards to paying that bill going to help your marriage? No. No. You becoming a better man and a better husband and a better father. That's the things that God wants, that Christ wants, to get you in front of the judgment and be like, okay, purgatory, okay, heaven. All right. So number 6, you know what? I'm gonna stop right there for today. We'll do, because we'll do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I'll go ahead and do 6 right now. I'll do 6 and then we'll stop and do the rest. So number 6, your wife has filed for divorce. Okay. So this could be turned around, but only through the husband changing and becoming the man she needs. In the end, unless you have a disordered, crazy wife, and most women aren't disordered and crazy, most women are just regular women. Yeah, they got some pain, they got some trauma going on, but most women, all they want is you, their husband, to become the man she needs and craves and wants. That's it. Yeah, it's hard. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying it's easy. What I am saying, though, if you as a man can put your focus on that, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. The problem comes when we focus on our hobbies and on our work and our making money and all of that stuff, and our kids before our wife and our friends and stuff, man. And our, just your wife, just really in the end, your wife, remember, your wife married you for your love. She didn't marry you for nothing else other than that. She married you because she wanted to build a life with you. Now, I mean a normal woman. Now, most 99% of women are normal. All the rest of them, yeah, they might, you got them other crazy ones that are over, but most women are normal. They just want to be loved. They want to have a relationship with their husband, a man that loves them and cares for them and makes them feel special. And then so she will then serve him, because that's what your wife really wants to do. Your wife wants to have your babies. She wants to take care of you and nurture you. She wants to take care of your home, even if she's got an 8-hour day job. That's the great thing about women. They have the capacity to suffer a lot. They really do. Your job as a man is to give her a reason to. Give her a reason to suffer. So she doesn't feel I'm going through all this suffering for a dude that don't even care about me. Man, listen, I know this stuff is not easy, but man, if you really think about it, man, it's not that complicated to really fathom. You know, just keep the priorities right. God and your wife. That's your priorities. And you'll be surprised. Everything else will kind of fall into place. And another thing too, yeah, you might have financial problems. Yes, you might get evicted from your house or get what is that? When they foreclose on your house. You might get sick. One of your kids might die. It don't matter. It matters. What I'm saying is the reason for this life is there's a beginning and there's the definite end. But to have someone to go through that life and all those problems and tribulations with, that is the key. And when we sever our marriages, I'm talking to women too, we sever our marriages, we automatically lose that person who we said we was going to go through this life with. And then you think, well, I'm going to start all over. You're going to start all over? Oh, hell no. I ain't starting over with nothing. I know the hell I got living in the next bed to me. I'm not trying to start over, dude, and neither should you. So, again, your wife is filed for divorce. This can be turned around, but only through the husband changing and becoming the man she needs. She is trying to get him to see the pain he has caused and now feels she has no choice but to sever the marriage. Usually, there is much anger and refusal to communicate with her husband, as this will only give him the illusion that he can save the marriage. So if your wife is not talking to you guys, that means one thing most of the time. If I talk to him, he gonna sweet talk me, and I'm gonna drop the divorce. I'm gonna come home, and I'm gonna go back doing all that. I'm gonna go back through all that stuff I just left, and I'm not willing to do that no more. It's a trust thing. This is why you've got to learn how to change and maintain those changes over time so that your wife, and they can't just be changes of, yeah, I'll change, then I go back to the way we was. Woman, would you come home so I can change for this 30 days and then we go back to our lives again? See, that's the kind of stuff that gets you in trouble. That's why she ain't coming back. But my point is, as a husband, you fix yourself, you learn how to be the best man, husband, father you can through help. And then what you do, man, is you wait it out. You wait her out. You conversate with her great. You start to love her and show her that you care, and you be patient with her, and all that's the stuff that you ain't used to doing. See, that's another thing. We ain't used to being friends with our spouses no more. We just accept mediocrity in our marriages, and then when stuff starts going south, we don't know how to handle it, okay, or know what to do. All right. So again, a woman doesn't marry a man to be partners. She marries him for his lifelong devotion and love for her. Men forget this, and it's the key to his damnation. Man, we forget this, gentlemen. We can't forget this anymore. Okay? Your wife married you for what? For your love, for your devotion, and your lifelong togetherness. She married you to go through all. Women, I don't care if they are the richest woman in the world, they're a princess or a queen. When you get married, women know we're going to go through problems. Everybody knows when they get married, they're going to go through problems. Some are severe, some are, just depends. It comes and goes, right? It fluctuates. But the main thing is, man, is you always can look to the right. As a man, look to the right, and there's your wife right there. You got that person to go through this with, you know. And the one who's been with you for all these years, you know. And I want you to really try to understand that as I go to break, all right? Bam. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Live streamed on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and CatholicAlpha.com. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right. We're back for our conclusion. And so we're going to go over, review what we learned. But first, before I do that, I have decided, because I'm getting so far behind on my marketing and other things that require maintenance, I'm going to go take my show Tuesdays and Thursdays now. So it'll be Tuesday, same time, and Thursday, same time. So those will be the only days. I might raise the show eventually back up to Wednesdays or all Monday through Friday. I would love that one day, but right now I'm just me. I have help, but it's still not enough. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull the show because it takes a lot to prepare for the show, and to get it and all these things, which you guys could, I'm sure you understand that. You all have jobs too. So I won't see you again until Thursday, which is 2 days from now. But again, I'll put out, Facebook, my email, all my email, YouTube, Rumble, and then of course all on the other podcasts like iHeartRadio and all of that. I'm out all over that, but the main thing is doing the live show. So going to Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. So real quick, let's review what we have went over today for things, situations, scenarios that constitute that you are in marriage crisis. Marriage crisis basically means it's over. There's no time, no more research, right? No more research of the internet for the answer. No more being aloof. No more procrastinating. Okay. So the number one scenario is your wife has left with or without the children. Number two, your wife is cheating with another man, or these days another woman. I've had that one happen too. I mean, not to me personally. I mean, other guys, right? I mean, other men. Okay. Your wife has asked for a divorce. You are separated or have a legal separation, but you didn't want it. You sleep in separate bedrooms. Your wife has filed for a divorce. Okay. And so Thursday, we're going to hit 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, because I want to make sure I hit those in good. I hate going to part twos a lot and threes a lot, but I want to go into depth to really help y'all. Okay, so let me see what else do I have on here. So another thing too, if you want, I want to know what kind of shows you would want me to do. All right. So if like you put those in the comments, or you can email me at radicalquestions@catholicalpha.com. So if you have some shows on marriage that you want me to do, I don't care what it is, then I'll put that in. I review that, and if I think it's feasible, I will do it. Okay. You can put those in the comments whenever we do a show, or you can email me at radicalquestions@catholicalpha.com. And so I have a comment here real quick. Oh, thank you for saying the show's good. You guys are so great. Thanks, honey, baby, my wifey. And then so Andy asks, he says, love the show, Jerry. Is there a show on how to get respect back and take control? Oh boy, you asking for a boot whooping. So Yes, matter of fact, I just did shows on respect. It's real recent too. I'll give you the episodes here real quick. I'm going to my YouTube channel right now. But the thing about respect, man, is you're not taking control, right? It's really not about taking control, because that's today in today's marriages. Uh, that's not gonna work, right? That's not. And so what you got to do is you got to look at how you and your wife can work together. And then mutual respect breeds serving and caring and loving. But when you're trying to take control, what'll happen is one person gets mad and thinks that they're being taken advantage of. And that's kind of where you have a problem. So real quick, let me find my live. Hope I don't get this live. Yeah, let me see. It's episode Andy. It's episodes 219 and 220. So I'll put that in the chat. On you can go. I looked on YouTube, but it's same as on Rumble and Facebook. So episode on respect, episodes 219 and 220. 219 and 220. Now, look, man, those ain't your regular respect kind of shows, man. They ain't playing. I'm raw on them shows. So the main thing is, man, is to think about it, do things the proper way, and think about how you want to implement stuff. Okay. All right. So we are done for today. And again, as I said, we will get back together on Thursday, which will be episode 225, which will be part two of Marriage Crisis. So, as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is upon you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle." Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL. To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam.